Between the finance minister as well as the governor Reserve Bank on the policy matters regarding decreasing the interest rate. Why they can't arrive at a consensus so that it is in the benefit of the country?
You know, I think it's a good question because I work in the Reserve Bank as one of the directors.
That's why I asked.
So, Reserve Bank has been made in a sense independent. They are free to give their advice, they are free to form their policy within certain parameters. They are not bound down by what the government wants, otherwise it becomes a government bank. See? So they can differ. And the Reserve Bank is only an advice when it comes to fiscal management. The rate of interest, CRR, repo, reverse repo, all those things are within the purview of the Reserve Bank. They apply their best judgment. For example, now I am a little worried, but earlier our system was that we have a free floating rupee into the market so long as it moves by paisas up or down. But as soon as it comes a junk, then we are able to intervene, release the money, dollars, or draw the money from it. It worked very good. And the interest rates, you know, when it comes to generation of the money, they take into account the interest rate, they take into account the inflation rate, then make the judgment of how much money should be released into the market. Sometime when Rangarajan was the governor, actually I had a conflict with him on this, that you are reducing the rate of interest, releasing the money into the market to make it easy for the government to buy from the market, to sell their securities. So then when we discussed for about half an hour in the meeting, he said, Dr. Jawal, you have put your whole life in agriculture, I have put in more all my life in monetary policy, please agree to what I say. I said, okay. So, it gave us a line of specialization. These people understand this. He's a genius. Even now the person, the governor, Reddy came, this Barao came, Bimal Dilan was there. They are icons by themselves. They know their way to stand and their Reserve Bank has certain leverage and degree of freedom.
This was my supplementary question on the issue which he raised. My main primary question is what the government should do to attract FDI in the power sector, because the power sector, as you mentioned, the pitfalls in the success of FDI, attracting more FDI. Power sector performance is most awful, most woeful, and without that enough power in the country, industry cannot succeed. Industry cannot compete, can succeed, but cannot compete with China, with Indonesia, with America, because the tariff in China, Indonesia, America, and many other countries is much lower compared to India, where it should be lower. And what today we need is, whatever capacity we have got, nearly 2 lakh crores megawatt capacity today. We need immediate augmentation of this much capacity in the next 2 to 3 years. Otherwise, our economy, which has been really damaged so much in the past 50 years by the shortage of power, persisting forever. We need more FDI in the power sector development, then perhaps the other infrastructure, road can come later, but power cannot, without power, industry and agriculture cannot prosper. So what should government do to attract more FDI in power sector?
I share your concern. All intellect is not considered in me. And there are other people also who can think better than I can do. The question here is, what is your source of power? The first thing. You are depending more and more on coal. Or you can say Nepal, all these things coming up. Gas fuel. Then when you have for the line, now you have enough gas, probably that would be a certain issue. The question is the input fuels. You have that input. Nuclear side, you have got reservations all the through on this. And the other thing is the policy by itself. Now if the foreign country, the foreign investor has to come, he has only 2 concerns. Rather 2, 3 concerns. Number 1, continuity of the policy. That would not happen. This is very important. Make a policy and make it sure with the consent of the opposition party, even if you come to power, you will continue. Number 2, what is the feed material? Where from it is to come? Number 3, you make this sure that person doesn't have pitches. Can you imagine? India in the rating has got is 135 out of 185 countries where there is a, you can say, conduciveness for investment. And for getting permits, it is 183, lower than even Bangladesh. So make that easy. Unfortunately, the people come, our bureaucrats look to their pockets. How many green bills they have got in their pocket? You see, unless until you control corruption, unless until you have a credible policy, unless until you provide an environment of certainty to the people, provide security and raw material, and then probably FDI will come. FDI doesn't come by mission. We need it, no doubt. But you have to create an environment for this.
But Mikha and Red Flag Manta gone, we don't get that
You
anymore.
know, my answer is, where has the desi wheat gone? Where has the makki has gone? Where has the sugarcane varieties have gone? Where has the taboo been? It's a process. It's a process of when the breeders, the scientists work, they work primarily for two things, rather three things. Their first concern is that the yield should be higher. Second concern is that the quality should be better. And third concern is it should be resistant to stresses, biotic and abiotic. They perform better to those, therefore the old varieties go. Neither we have the old wheat, nor we have old cane, neither we have old other varieties. Similarly, malt has gone.
Thank you. Sir, as you said that we don't have the continuity of policies. So who is to be blamed? Why can't we have two-party system in India so that one or the other can be made responsible? We have about 43 political parties which are registered by the Election Commission. And who is responsible? The Election Commission has got all the rights to disqualify these all healthy parties. Those who are spoiling this other country.
See, I share your concern, but our system is an open democracy. Anybody can come in. You see, there are basic form of democracy which we are not meeting, but there is a number of parties which matter. It's a question of you can say the credibility of the parties. We have virtually two parties, but they are coalitions, and that's why it doesn't work. So anyway, we have limitations, we have good points also. Anybody can float a party, you float a party, I float a party. But we couldn't succeed. We couldn't succeed.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sam. It was a very interactive session. It's not a question I'm going to say, but something really disturbing. In one of your answers, you mentioned about all the malpractices and mismanagement, right from production to PDF, the distribution. So, Dr. This small point that's coming to our minds. If a person as upright as you, as expert in your field as you are, and while being in such powerful positions, if you face so many challenges, so much resistance with these politicians and bureaucrats, so what hope do we have? What hope do you have it? Also have with us. So where are we heading?
I can give you hope if I come into power. I cannot promise for the others. In fact, I have given the system.
I can assure you 850 votes at 0 rupees a vote. LMA members, not more than that.
So I have given suggestions. Unfortunately, it doesn't suit the politicians. For example, on two things, input, I'll take 2-3 minutes.
Sure.
On inputs and on food, I recommended that we should get into the food stamps and input stamps. Simple process. Through security printing, you print the food stamps. Let's say you want to, then you, BPL families, and you identify them, you give them those stamps. To be used only on food. Nowhere else can be used. And to be used only once. They go to depot, no money is to be paid cash. Up to the level the person wants to use it. He can use it for wheat, he can use it for rice, he can use it for oil, he can use it for anything. Let his home management work. Then after the depot holder had that, he encashes it on the bank and the government will reimburse the bank. Similarly for inputs, you have the inputs. Why you give a subsidy on fertilizer? Why on electricity? Why on water? Why on pesticides? You give you mark up to 5 acres, up to 10 acres, whatever you want to give it. We give this stems to you. These can be used only on inputs. The same way those input stems can be cashed at the bank. I don't say there will be no corruption, but 90% corruption will go.
But this UID thing can take care of something.
Huh?
This Aadhaar.
Aadhaar, unless until the yellow cards are also Aadhaar. But the question is, will this product reach there? Well, you see, I give an example, $14 billion worth of food grains have been diverted by one man.
Yeah, that's a very frightening actually. I'll request Mr. Singhal to please come for presidential remarks.